child.
I agree.
You never, and then those that I had talked to called divorce. Some of them entitled it almost like a living death. Especially people that have been through, because the person is forever in your life because the child is in your life, unless you just happen not to have children. Then it's kind of, you're able to move on. Okay, this is very interesting. At what age, Larry, are you finding men are making commitments these days?
Later and later in life.
What about African American men?
African American men, I find that they're making commitments later in life, probably in their 40s and a little later than that. A lot of men are still want to play the games, and they don't want to have a commitment. Or they're career-driven, and that's taking up their time, and they don't want to make a commitment to a woman to build a family.
What do you think about that, Sean?
I wanted to ask, what age do you think that most African American men are, when they're, what age do you think they're really ready to get married?
I think African American men are ready to make a commitment when the commitment is ready inside of them. And a lot of times there has not been extensive teaching, or they have not seen a family structure where they've seen a man being committed in a relationship. So when that happens, he has no kind of guideline or no kind of pattern or system to say, this is how you be committed to a young lady, or this is how you can be committed to a wife. So what happens is he ends up repeating a cycle of what he's seen take place in his environment, either younger or in the course of the people that he's around with. So it really determines, too, the people that you're around with also determines whether you're going to make that commitment also. So you constantly hang with single men who are doing certain things.
Right.
You're not looking to go and say, well, guys, I'm cutting you loose. I'm about to go make a commitment to this young lady. We've been together in and out. I live with her. She live with me, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to make that commitment. Right. It takes you pulling away from the group and say, this is what I'm going to do. Because your mindset is not the same as theirs if you're going to make that commitment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I want to ask another question about what age minimum do you think an African American man should get married?
I can answer that. I think at 18, I think at minimum he can do it at 18 when he's able to take on that authority. Brother Carlin says that varies. Of course, he says, I don't know if there's a general age that all black men would be ready to commit. But we noticed that seemingly in this generation, they're waiting later and later before they start a family, which means that during our parents' age, they would get married in their late teens, early 20s. Definitely by mid-20s, they were married. Definitely before 30. Today, it's common to see a man over 30 not married, even 40 never been married. And what happens is that if the man is, let's say, 40, and this is a question I put to a lot of young men, you're 40, now what are you going to do when it comes to building a family if you want to have children?
Right.
It's kind of obvious that you're not going to look for somebody that's 40,
right,
unless you're going to adopt. Then that means that you're going to have to go down into the other generation if you want to have 2 and 3 children and have them healthy. There's some risk there, or it would definitely be a high risk pregnancy.
Right.
But this is very interesting.
Then it goes back to older men dating younger women. Then, if to start a family, then.
Right, and then we always say, then we're going back now to the then that's when the woman gets to a certain place where she got to make a decision whether she wants to be a nurse.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
You knew was gonna say that.
You know I was gonna say it about the nurse.
About the nurse.
As far as taking care of an older man.
Right.
Okay, so this is very good, and we have a lot of people here Charlotte Ayeni says, very deep, black men and women need to learn to communicate in order to reconnect and recoup what they have truly lost. Whatever happened to love and commitment, women are out of order, sleeping with men that truly are not their husbands. Just because he is not married does not mean he is not someone's husband. Did you seek God and ask God, or were you chasing, I didn't get the rest of that.
Sex, money, and looks.
Sex,
or
money,
power.
and looks. Okay, yes. Now, we all know from a spiritual standpoint that these are our values, and especially as we become more and more spiritual beings, our focus change. And when you are spiritual, your priority changes. Because one of the things we've also learned, as the Apostle Paul taught us, is that your body is not yours. And one of the things is that when it comes down to marriage, you would have to give up yourself. Both individuals give up themselves. A matter of fact, according to Scripture, you're not even supposed to fast without the permission of your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And your body is not yours. And so we begin to look at the role that we would need to take on to, marriage is a very deep commitment at a very, very deep level. And again, we say, marriage is not for adults. Sex is not for adults, it's for married people. And there's a reason for that. But we are in a society that we're looking at culture change and priorities are changing. And people are, changing relationships like people change shoes. What's happening there psychologically? So that's just some of the things we wanted to hear some of the young men talk about. I'm sure when we get with the young women, they would have their stance on it. Mm-hmm. And in today's world, I'm amazed because I find that the women, when we grew up, I'm 50, women was not as forward. Would you agree when you were growing up, women were not as forward?
Right.
But today, women can be just as aggressive. Do you think women are just as aggressive as men are today?
Yeah, and they also like aggressive guys too. They don't even like nice guys anymore. I think the older women tend to go for the nice guys. And the young girls, they want an aggressive guy because they feel like, they feel like they're gonna have fun.
Okay, some of that may have gone around in some communities. Yes, what did I say?
Yeah, I agree that the women are more aggressive than they were, say, even 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. They're more forward. They're more direct in what they want and what they want to accomplish with you as a male.
So have you ever had a woman ask you out?
Yes.
Yeah. How about you? Have
Yes.
you? Yes.
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 Uh-huh.
I never had a woman.
But
ask
it's not
me out.
common, though.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, all of y'all have said yes. I mean, maybe I got married too young.
That was quite correct.
But even at 20, it was not thought of. It was frowned on if you heard, even if a woman heard another, you did what? I know you didn't ask.
Excellent.
I mean, you're supposed to wait until he asked you.
Right.
But today, do you find that it's common?
No, I don't think it's common.
Then maybe I should say this. It's not uncommon.
Right.
Okay, because I'm not going to say that women go around asking men
Right.
out. Okay.
They want to.
Huh?
They would want to. I'm pretty sure some women would want to go up to a guy they think that look good and ask them out. It's just that, the way society is set up, they won't do it because they don't want to be frowned upon, like you said. They don't want to be talked about. So they go against their true feelings.
Okay. What do you think? Women ask guys out?
Yes, I even know women who would ask guys out, and what they would do is on the first date, to really throw the man in a loop, they would pay for the first date and say, I got you. I know a young lady, older lady, matter of fact, she would take the gentleman out, ask him out, pay for the date, pull out a wad of money and let him see the money and say, I got it. Mm-hmm. And when she would do that a couple of times,